Today we're going to take you on an adventure through our local thrift store and show you some of the prepper treasures we found. Hey Provident Preppers, I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Kylene, and today we went on a grand adventure through one of our local thrift stores and found all kinds of treasures that we can use for our emergency preparedness purposes. However, before we really get into this, I think we should talk a little bit about thrift stores because they can be dangerous.
And they can be awesome.
So the whole reason why we went on our adventure is because we had filled the back of our car full of all kinds of stuff to donate to our local thrift store, which is a great plan.
Yeah, it is. It was a great opportunity for us to go get rid of stuff we don't need that's still very usable and pick up a few treasures ourselves.
And there's a few reasons why we like supporting our local thrift store. One is that they employ people who have special needs or who are really down on their luck, and so it provides employment for people to help pull them up. So part of the advantage of things that you purchase at a thrift store is that the price is significantly less. I get all excited over the fact that we're repurposing things, right? Everything's just not going into a landfill, but we're able to use and reuse and be wise stewards of our resources. I guess that's one of the things.
And that's huge to me also. I hate just seeing everything dumped in the trash. So when I go there and see all these things that, and some of them not the best and not stuff that I would buy, but maybe things that others do, everybody has a different taste for things, and so it does put these things to use, and it just a better use of our overall resource portfolio, I guess.
Now, some of the items that you can get at a thrift store are better than what you can actually purchase in the store. For instance, okay, this is a pasta maker, and it is incredibly heavy. It's one of the items that we deliberated over whether or not we wanted to get it because we don't want to bring home more stuff just to have stuff, because that's the whole reason we went there in the first place.
Get rid of stuff.
This is super high quality, and we can't really buy something that's that same quality right now. So you'll find that sometimes when you go to a thrift store.
And part of this was we're trying to teach our kids and our grandkids hard skills. And this is one that, I think we will find some use, and they will learn how pasta is made. It doesn't come in a package.
Yeah, it does.
It comes in a package, but somehow that gets made. And so they're learning in the process, and Mama can make some pasta that she can eat because she's doing it herself.
Yes, with the gluten-free restrictions, sometimes it's really hard and things are really expensive and you have limited resources. But this way, I just build better skills. So that was the reason that we got this. Now let's talk about the disadvantages to thrift stores.
The big one for me, and this kind of keeps me out of those stores a lot, is you have to pick through a lot of stuff. As opposed to going to the store where you know what the stuff is, go in, get it, and get out.
And you never know what the inventory they're gonna have.
Right.
It's always different, and so it does require that you take frequent visits. Now, one of the other big disadvantages is that we tend to buy stuff we don't need because it's really cool and it's cheap. So before you go, you've got to make a list of the things that you're looking for, that you'd consider buying. And of course, I bought something that wasn't on our list. And that thing that I bought that wasn't on our list is actually this cooler. Now, when I saw it, this was $8, and I always open things up and look at them, and it looks brand new. If it's been used, it was used for water, which this is a great thing for our family. So yeah, it wasn't on my list. So sometimes the list fails you, but sometimes it helps.
So one of the great finds that we saw there was these water barrels, 55-gallon blue water barrels at our local store. They are $83. On sale for $60, but we saw them there for $12. What a steal. If you're needing water storage, excellent choice there.
But the thing is, if you don't grab them when you see them, they're going to be gone, right? So you do have to be ready to act on it and know what it is that you're looking for, because somebody just picked up a great treasure. And one of the things that we have been looking for when we go, we need a bedside commode. Bedside commodes, they're like bedside toilets where when you have somebody who's struggling physically, they just don't have to go far to use the restroom. But that's super good for emergency preparedness. And I've been looking for one, and that's one of the things that we want. We did find a wheelchair there. I already have a wheelchair, so I didn't need one, but medical supplies, sometimes that's a really good place to pick some of those up. And then we found some things that might look like they're a great deal, but personally I don't think they are, like the flashlights.
We saw they had bags of flashlights, so I'm sure they just get all these old flashlights because they're old technology, and they just sell a whole bag full of them for like $4. Well, at first that seems like, okay, yeah, that's a pretty good deal. But when you think about the difference in the technology, and if you buy that bag of flashlights, then you're going to go buy $10 or $15 worth of batteries.
At least.
And they're the old style, and then the batteries go bad. And
the bulb. The bulb will go bad.
You know, it was, at first it was like, oh, wow, that's pretty good. And then I thought, no, that really isn't. We like our solar, our hybrid light, our flashlights. They're just such a jump in technology for us that's all we want to use now.
So don't get stuck with something that's not going to serve you as well as you might originally think or be as great of a deal. One of the other examples of that there was this container, and I forgot to get a picture of it, but it was just a tote, kind of more flimsy, and it was $5 for this used tote. Well, $5 for a tote sounds like a good idea, but if you watch for them on sale at Costco, you can get a much stronger tote, more durable for $8. So for me, I'm looking at the two thinking, it would be better for me to go get it at Costco when it's on sale, but it might be better for you to get it there. It just kind of depends. But one container that we found that we were really excited about is this one.
This is for our cat food because our bucket, we've been using a 5-gallon bucket for the cat food, and it's seen better days. This is a very sturdy food dispenser. So we found this for, I think, $5, which you'd probably pay 4 or 5 times that much at a pet store.
Another thing that they have there that because we drove the car, I couldn't bring any home, they have filing cabinets. Now, when you think about filing cabinets, you're like, well, those are really old and archaic, and why would you want those? But when it comes to organizing things in the storeroom, such as medical supplies or vitamins or any things of little nature that you want to organize, man, those are great. And as long as it's intact, it should be rodent proof. Yeah. So we were even talking about, wow, wouldn't that be a great thing to store your Mylar bags of freeze-dried food? That was another good deal. Okay, books. They have so many books.
Thousands and thousands.
This is just one of the examples of it. This is actually a really good book. It's in the bag. I'm not advertising the book right now, but it's a great one, and I'm really glad that I have it because I spent $1.50 on a book. There's all kinds of different how-to books or medical books or things that would be really good to have in your prepper library. You don't need to spend $30 on a cookbook. Go to your local thrift store and figure out what books they have. Just watch a little bit, get ones that are about cooking with the basics, and it will be something you'll be really glad that you have on your shelf if the internet goes down. One other thing that I wanted to mention about thrift stores, we have Deseret Industries in our area here in Utah, and we do have some other ones, but depending on where the thrift store is located, you'll get better stuff. It happens, right? If it's in a more expensive community, the donors have more money and you're getting better stuff than when, like the one that we have in Provo, it's a poor college town one, and the stuff that's in there just isn't quite as good as some of the other ones. Jonathan and I, we have kids that live in Arizona, and when we go visit them, sometimes we'll go to their local thrift store and get clothes.
Yeah, and a lot of them are like brand new. Some with the tag still on. So if you can find stuff that you really like, you're paying 1/10 of the price.
Yeah, and they do, like the one up there, they have like a certain color sticker on a Saturday will be half off or something. So the prices are so good, and we're okay washing stuff. We're okay doing that. You do need to make sure that you clean whatever you get from a thrift store. One of the things that I really wanted this trip that I didn't get was a can opener, because we had an older can opener that worked really well, and all of the newer can openers that I've purchased, they just don't work as well. So that's on my list. And I have a good friend who's a professional thrift store shopper. And I will give her a little list and say, hey, I'm looking for this or this or this, and she'll keep an eye out, and it's awesome. I really appreciate that. So community plays into thrift store too. If you guys all, exchange your lists and you're looking for stuff, you can help each other out.
Another thing we found, there was a lot of good warm clothing, not just everyday clothes, but warm clothing, boots, all these kinds of things are fairly inexpensive there. Also things like go bags. If you're trying to build a go bag, a 72-hour kit, or whatever you want to call it, they have some really good bags there. You had to pick through them, because we picked through for about 5 or 10 minutes. And there were 1 or 2 that were good, and a lot of them were like, no.
Or that served our purpose, because
Yeah.
we were looking for something that would really work well for that, with lots of pockets and stuff. But they're only $4 or $5. If you go to your local thrift store, you can collect some of the stuff that you would need for your emergency bag significantly less expensively than buying it new. So, and you need your go bag. You need your survival kit. Don't put that off, especially car kit. You need one. Think about this. You got this.
Now for the question of the day. Share with us some of your successes and maybe your failures and your strategies for using a thrift store to build your preps. Share with us, and thanks for being part of the solution.